Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at both of the next upcoming community days and why you want to play both of them. Especially for PvP, but also if you, for example, are interested in a shiny Kommo-o, which looks very interesting. Definitely play this community day as well, but for PvP both of them are going to be very important, which is something that we haven't had really recently. Like I felt like community days were a bit underwhelming, I have to say, in the last few months, but this is going to be like two community days that are going to be very interesting. So, what do we have here? We have Kommo-o as the community day next week, so definitely make sure to play this one on the 21st of June here. This is going to be an interesting Pokemon getting the signature move of Clanging Scales. The June community day is, historically seen as like the best community day of the year, where you always have like a pseudo-legendary getting the community day. And here we're gonna get this Pokemon with its signature move. The only thing that we know about Clanging Scales so far is that it's a 120 damage move that has a guaranteed 1 drop of your defense after using it. With the damage output that we have here currently, I assume it's going to be a 50 energy move, as 45 energy would be very good on this Pokemon. Absolutely would love that. It would just be basically a better close combat, but close combat is getting you a double defense drop and does 20 less damage in this move. So I would assume that Clanging Scales, even though it's a community day move, with being more like having a higher damage output and also having less of a drawback, I would assume it's going to be 5 more energy than the close combat to make it kind of fair. And this is going to be a very strong move, like 120 damage is no joke. And of course, again, we don't know the energy cost yet, but it's very likely to be 50 energy, and that would be totally okay for this Pokemon. We're going to take a look now at what this Pokemon can do as well with it, and what we can expect from this Pokemon for the future of that. As you see here, we're going to take a look at the Kommo-o in the Open Great League, where we're going to have the standard moveset currently, which is Dragon Tail, Close Combat, and Dragon Claw. We're going to have Dragon Tail, Brick Break, which is going to be the better, cheaper fighting type coverage move, Clanging Scales, Dragon Tail, Close Combat, and Clanging Scales, where we have double nuke moveset. And what we will see is that with Brick Break, actually you're going to be able to have a way better results together with the Clanging Scales for the Kommo-o in the Open Great League. And why would you want to run the Kommo-o generally is because it's the hardest answer to the recently really upcoming Pokemon, Bellybolt. Bellybolt is completely having no chance against this Pokemon. Everything is going to be resisted on it. And with the recent kind of meta shift, this Pokemon Kommo-o, without even getting the direct buff, kind of looks absolutely amazing. And we see it here already as well in this meta. You have the option to like one-shot most likely something like a Jelson, because let's take a look at how much a Clanging Scales would do in damage. Okay, it does like 60%, but with the fast move pressure that you have as well, you have the potential there of knocking Pokemon out, which is really cool. And still, I'm not too sold on it yet, but I do think it's definitely something that you want to keep for later on. Because even if Clanging Scales may be not the ideal moveset currently, and we're going to talk about why that is the case, and it will very likely be very good in the future. But yeah, the thing is right now that Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, Close Combat gives you a very well-balanced moveset already. The thing is here, Dragon Tail gives you, of course, Dragon type damage, very hard hitting, and it's the only really good fast move. It has Poison Jab otherwise, which is okay, but like it's not fantastic. And it's also not Stab, which is kind of more like the annoying thing about it. Dragon Claw is not really hard hitting, but together with the Dragon type damage that you have already from Dragon Tail, it's alright. Like you could do your Dragon type damage, and that's totally fine. And Dragon Claw with a 35 energy move is a very good bait move, and still just a move that you get to very fast. And then you have Close Combat, which is a very hard hitting stab move for the fighting typing. So if you go for Clanging Scales now, which we're going to have here, for example, you're going to have your Dragon type fast move still. You have a lot of Dragon type damage with your charge move now, but the bait move is going to be Brick Break, which barely does any damage as like a fighting type move. And this is kind of the issue for Kommo-o. But again, I do think that Kommo-o as a community day, not only like it's a cool shiny, it's a pseudo-legendary, it's going to be very very good still, because it still has play with Clanging Scales and Breaking Strife, and Brick Break, what I want to say here. And still going to be a good alternative, as you see also in the Ultra League, where it has more play as well with that one here. But also for the future, I do think that this Pokemon is most likely going to receive eventually another fast move. Here we see the Master League and how this is going to change. Of course, Clanging Scales, by the way, is currently not on PvPoke. I'm running my local version for this one to check this moveset out. And as you're going to see here, you have some matchups that you're going to be able to win because of the higher damage output that you have from the Dragon typing. But yeah, Basically, what I would assume is that this Pokemon is gonna get somewhat eventually a better fast move that's fighting type or a better charge move that's fighting type. Upper Hand, for example, would be very, very cool for this Pokemon. Upper Hand is a move that recently got added in, which has, I think, the same energy as Brick Break, but just does damage and has a drop chance, I think. So Upper Hand is just most likely the better move to go for if you would have that. Then you have, again, look at this. Like, if this Pokemon gets an update with Upper Hand, like, this is consistent. Like, Upper Hand doesn't have, like, that crazy random chance or whatever. Like, it has a random chance, but, like, it still does consistent good damage, which is really, really good, and would make this Pokemon already way, way better with that. And otherwise, you could have access, for example, to Counter eventually as well. Counter is a move that this Pokemon would learn as well, and would change quite a bit of the things as well. So even if you would have Brick Break still, but you have Counter, you most likely then end up just having a different type of moveset then. You have, like, the fighting type damage over this Pokemon, plus then the option to nuke with a dragon type move. And that would be also very, very cool for this Pokemon. Again, Upper Hand I think is going to be the better move that this Pokemon could get, which recently got added. But like, there's a lot of potential with this Pokemon here, which is going to be very, very nice. So no matter what, even if it's not absolutely perfect yet, there's a lot of potential that this move is going to be absolutely needed on this Pokemon in the near future. And that is something that already is kind of great. The Pokemon itself is great, the community today is great. So definitely something that you want to play. And I just kind of want to let you see on what potential this Pokemon has. But there's an even better community day coming up for PvP at least, which is going to be the Rookidee community day. This is somewhere where we at least were able to vote again, and out of all of the options, only Rookidee was the only Pokemon that would get any benefit from the move that it would get there. Like, neither Friddish, Wimpod, or Lechonk had like any potential with the move that they got there. Like, all the moves that they would have got were just not really getting them anywhere. Rookidee was the only logical choice here for a Pokemon that's gonna be in a community day here, because it doesn't have a shiny yet. The shiny gonna get released with the community day, which is kind of cool. It's a recently revealed Pokemon, and it has play in PvP. All of the other Pokemon like have play in PvP, like at least Wimpod and Friddish, but like Chonk didn't get a move that would have made it any meta or anything like this, and also the other ones didn't have like anything that got upgraded, and all of the shinies of the other ones are already released. So Rookidee was the only like logical choice here, and it is going to get the move Air Cutter. And Air Cutter, you already know from my channel as well, is a move that I enjoy quite a bit, especially on Pidgeot, or even on the Farfetch'd, but this move is a move that recently got buffed, and I should mostly take a look at Air Cutter before we take a look at this Pokemon as well, real quick. Because Air Cutter is a very, very cool move here, which you're gonna see as well. 45 damage, not too great, like it still does some solid damage, especially with Stab then on top of it, but like it's not great in terms of the damage output, but it's 35 energy, which is absolutely amazing, and you have a 30% chance to boost your own attack. And this is kind of where this move comes in clutch, and this is where the moveset of Corviknight is going to shift completely, I would assume, in the near future. Currently, the most common moveset is the Sand Attack, the Sky Attack, and the Iron Hat. What I assume is that the entire moveset is going to completely change. I don't think any of the moves you want to run anymore on Corviknight, which is hilarious because only one move got added. How can this change so much? Let me show you. We're going to have here the current moveset, Sand Attack, Sky Attack, Iron Hat. Iron Hat is, by the way, a legacy move. The other option, of course, with Air Cutter on it would be Sand Attack, Air Cutter, and Iron Hat. But what I think is actually going to be the moveset that you want to run is Steel Wing, Air Cutter, and Payback. Why? Steel Wing is going to be a stab move that's going to be quite hard hitting. It's got nerfed, like, not recently, I think it's now a year ago because it was too broken on Skarmory. But it's still an okay move here that generates energy, slower than the other one, but does some solid amount of damage already with your fast move. And this is where Air Cutter plus this move kind of comes in clutch. And this is where even PvPoke cannot show you the correct thing for it. Because here for PvPoke, a 30% chance move, I think only gets the guaranteed boost at the third time using it on it for the calculations, which is fair based on math and like on how things could happen. But at the end of the day, you could get the boost immediately with Air Cutter, and then your Steel Wing damage is going through the roof. And this is where I think it's going to be the best way of using it. Sand Attack could still have some play there for sure as well. Sand Attack still just generates energy faster than, by like I think 1 actually per turn, than Steel Wing. So like you would get to your Air Cutters way faster, but you're not going to benefit too much from the boost because your fast move damage is not going to add up that much. And you're going to see it here as well, and how this Pokemon is going to shift. Generally speaking, all movesets still have some play, but you're going to have some nice wins here with the Steel Wing and Air Cutter moveset. For example, against Primate, but Pokemon that you definitely would like to get a win, you're going to have a little of a better time. Against the Dusclops, thanks to also the payback, you're going to have a better time. Of course, against Water-type Pokemon like Samurott or Feraligatr, you're going to struggle a little bit more. If you are feeling that this is going to be an issue for you, swap over to Sand Attack and you don't have that issue anymore, so like that's going to be fine for you as well. But there are a lot of matchups where if it's not a Water type, you're going to be just in a way better spot running this moveset, because you can benefit as well from, again, the boost of Air Cutter, which is going to come in clutch, especially if you're going to get it early, which is based on chance and not like what PvP can show you here. So yeah. Again, here in the two-shot scenario, you just add up a little bit more with your fast move pressure. You're going to be able to win against Pokemon like Rookidee now, which is kind of cool. And I do think that this is going to be the way moving forward. And we see it here as well. This is the current standard moveset for the Corviknight. And if you swap it to the moveset that I suggest, you're going to gain a decent bit of average rating. And again, this is based on the lowest potential chance that you can have there. Like that you don't get a Air Cutter boost in the first two Air Cutters, which is, of course, not always going to be the case. A lot of times you're going to get it on the first one, and then you're just going to do even more damage, and you're going to flip a lot of matchups that you wouldn't be able to flip any other way. And so I do think that this is going to be the way moving forward for Corviknight, and it's going to make it very, very strong. Same goes for the Open Ultra League still, where Corviknight as well is going to be a Pokemon that is going to benefit definitely quite a lot from the recent changes. We're going to have a Sand Attack, Air Cutter, Iron Head. We're going to have Steel Wing, Air Cutter, Payback. Again, as you will see here, Steel Wing is going to be the way to go. Yes, you're going to miss up on the matchups, for example, here like Tentacruel, but you're going to have way more play against other Pokemon here, like for example Dusknoir or other Corviknight as well, just doing a lot more damage there. And again, two-shot scenarios where usually Steel Wing kind of comes in clutch because you do a lot of damage, and look at this. Like, you can't tell me that this is not a ginormous upgrade on this Pokemon. So yeah, we're going to have a Pseudo Legendary coming, which is absolutely amazing. And then we're going to have also, basically a Pokemon that's absolutely going to be top meta for PvP coming up as well. So definitely, yeah, play both community days. They're both going to be worth it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.